The journey begins with raw wood in log form, and that's all that goes into our mushrooms. So from an organic perspective, it's absolutely wonderful. And it has one other good big hard aspect to it, is that we're using alien vegetation.
Oh, wonderful.
Which they're trying to eliminate.
Killing two birds with one stone.
Yep. The moistened material is packed into an autoclavable bag, which is important. We need to get away from that urgently. And then cooked at 140 degrees for 2 hours.
So the mulch goes into these.
In the bags?
In the bags.
Bags are loaded in there. That one's on temperature. You got it right. Need a nappy
nice.
change.
I like it. Exciting.
It's running at 1.5 bar.
Okay.
So inside of each of those pots is a bunch of these bags, 25 of them per pot.
Okay.
And that will stay in there now at that pressure and temperature for about 2 hours.
Quite a strong smell. So what's actually happening to them while they're in there?
You're effectively taking the wood and raising its temperature along with everything else in it to around about 140 degrees. Then you kill off all the competition.
You're killing off all, so you sterilize them?
Sterilize. That's exactly what's happening. The bag is then cooked, brought in here, and inoculated.
Does that mean inoculated?
Inoculated with the mycelium
Okay.
for each species of mushroom we want to grow.
Okay, so
If you want to come in, you may end up getting frost on your lens. Temperature here.
okay. Hello.
Nazuko? We're about to get on the TV computers. Nazuko is the lady who runs the laboratory, does the inoculation and preps the mycelium. That's mycelium.
Okay, so that's one of those bags that we saw being packed outside.
That gets inoculated into one of those bags.
Oh, that's
Small quantities.
inoculated into one of those bags. Okay.
So somewhere in the world somebody got spores. The spores were then multiplied up using, in this case, sorghum. And the sorghum grain is then put onto the wood, cellulite wood.
So as far as these mycelium go, how organic are they?
They are 110% organic. Sorghum is food-grade sorghum. The wood is ordinary 100% unadulterated trees. There's nothing added to it. It's sterilized, combined, and the mushroom then takes over from there. It's kept in here, in the case of shiitake, between 8 and 16 weeks until it matures, progressing through from a nondescript brown sawdust bag where you can see the very early colonization starting to take place, and moving on until such time as further up the back it's matured. The mushroom then proceeds to colonize with a certain amount of failure in it. You must pull that out. And at about this point is ready for cold shocking.
Cold shocking.
It has to be given a fright in order to start reproduction, which is what the mushroom is. So altogether we've now spent 12 weeks or 3 months to get to this point. And these are the difficult steps. The step from here into fruiting is much quicker and much more controllable. And we're going to have a look now at the fruiting chamber. Alright, this is where the block is now released from its plastic bag. And fruiting is triggered by, at this stage, getting oxygen. Or reduced CO2 probably is the better way to describe it.
Reduce the CO2.
Yeah. Exposure to air. The block then starts a journey of roughly 42 days in here, where it does it in its first 12 days. It produces its first flush. Typically, as you see them on these paler blocks. And at the end of 12 days, more or less, we found that to be the best time. We then rehydrate them,
Okay.
which is its equivalent of a rainstorm.
Okay, right.
Drops the temperature as well. This is 22, believe it or not.
Okay.
And the water's in at about 12. It's then rehydrated for a couple of days, comes back on the shelf, and within the next 12-day cycle, you can see the mushrooms beginning to form again.
Right, okay.
So there's a second flush, and it goes through that one more time, and then they're out.
So what is this growing here?
This is a pink oyster,
Pink oyster.
and it's got 2 dry, so it's gone pale on you. And
So
we
that
use-
grows differently to what it's
To the
inside
top,
there.
yes.
So this actually needs warmth.
This is a tropical
Tropical.
mushroom, but needs a lot more humidity than is in here for it to thrive. So we use the space principally during the winter months. Now there is an infinitely more respectable shot. And that tatty thing down the bottom there.
Yes.
And the substrate is ordinary wheat straw, straight out of the fields, pasteurized, inoculated, and you can actually see, if you look, some of the little seeds which have the mycelium in them. Any others? Oh, we've got a biological control here too. We've got a whole little crop of frogs that eat the flies. They come out at night. This is what you'll see on the shelves in Checkers.
Checkers, okay. Thank you very much. Jeez. Now we're cooking up a storm.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow,
Get that.
that's brilliant.